Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and today I will be taking a look at the recent release Godzilla vs. Kong.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews.
Don't make me destroy you.
There are two truths with the MonsterVerse, as it is so aptly named. On the one hand, you have the kaiju on kaiju action that has always been visually stunning and at many points awe-inspiring due to the sheer size of them and their abilities, and on the other hand is where the puny human element comes into play. Uninteresting side stories that somehow end up taking precedent over the main draw, often detracting from the cinematic flow of the films as exposition and insignificant drama is played out. It is the one thing that these films within the MonsterVerse have failed to either rectify or simply do away with altogether, compared to the likes of Shin Godzilla, a film which is arguably better in its human element than the kaiju mania, and you have to wonder why they didn't just stop and have a rethink. The issue has always been that the human characters simply aren't interesting in any remote fashion. The characters that were interesting or had meaningful arcs have all been killed off almost at the first hurdle, or simply never returned for reasons. And the issue is front and centre here with Godzilla vs. Kong. The action, I will say, is bloody fantastic here, visually stunning in its cinematography, which again is something that these films have excelled at. It finds the scale of these beasts and never lets up on the impact of their conflict on their surroundings. The imagery and colouring of many scenes and sequences, especially during the Hollow Earth exploration portion, is genuinely staggering and at times breathtaking, combined with the exuberant action, and everything is fun and exciting, exactly what you would want from a beat-em-up mega monster movie. But that bloody human element ultimately threatens to capsize everything. And it does. Riddled with characters that are simply there to guide the audience along via copious amounts of dialogue-laden exposition dumps, or to make completely ridiculous and mind-bogglingly stupid decisions that evaporate any form of tension or goodwill that they may well have partially constructed at the start of the films. Aside from the young girl Gia in Godzilla vs. Kong, who is delicately played by Kaylee Hottle, a deaf girl who acts as the singular connection to Kong, every single character in this film is pointless, uninspired, or just wasted by virtue of getting completely in the way. The villains, which are obviously villains from the start, before they even utter a single syllable like an old Bond villain, are unashamedly mustache-twirling maniacs, laughable and utterly lacking in any form of threat as they divulge their master plan to Millie Bobby Brown, who herself is shoehorned into this project because she knows Godzilla. Brilliant writing, absolutely brilliant writing. The evil plan is so obvious in its direction that you see every future moment within the first 10 minutes. It fails to hide anything for tension or shock value. Not only that, but eagle-eyed observers who picked apart the trailer months ago saw the direction this film would take, and the endgame, while visually spectacular, is thoroughly undone by that and by lackluster dialogue and rubbish underdeveloped characters. Every character moment in this film is forgettable. You will not remember anything from them, and they add nothing to the proceedings. In fact, the humans enable some of the major problems for both Godzilla and Kong, getting in the way and acting like random pieces of Lego on a carpet, destined to make its acquaintance with your bare foot as you walk by. The problem is that the mess of all their nonsense, the human element constructs a totally incoherent story, so baffling that the exposition confuses itself, which takes away and limits the stakes of every major battle moment. Too often, it cuts away from the battle to check in on the wasted Kyle Chandler, or jumps to Eric from True Blood so that he can prove he's not a coward, or slices to Millie Bobby Brown and company as they stupidly attempt to unlock a satellite MacGuffin to help Godzilla. The result is something that looks epic and has terrific fights, no doubt, but feels flat and tired due to the sheer irrelevance and flaccid deeper meaning for the characters to even exist in this feature. For me personally, I think they boxed themselves in with their human characters when they killed off Bryan Cranston in Gareth Edwards' Godzilla. No one has come close since to having a meaningful connection to the wider disaster and development of Godzilla than he did. He could have been the linchpin, an older, experienced actor, understanding and accepting a world of monsters that can destroy everything, given everything that he has lost and did lose in that film.
My wife died here. Something killed my wife. And I have a right to know.
It would have made perfect sense for him to be the one who learns to adapt and grows within it, taking us along with him. Instead, we are given one-shot, one-note characters and leftovers who argue about bloody fluoride conspiracies throughout and are squeezed into these overlong films because prior signed contracts dictate as much. Where does it go from here? Well, for me, hopefully nowhere. Unless they can figure out the human story aspect. But who knows, if it makes money...
Let's face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel. Ah! Ah!
It's frustrating given that Godzilla vs. Kong squarely delivers on its promise of major kaiju action, but lacking in honest, shocking awe and bogged down by the tedium of exposition-based storytelling and completely forgettable characters. This is a franchise that needs a mecha-sized rethink, and unfortunately for me, absolutely rubbish. This is a 5 out of 10 film for me, and one that I won't watch again. And that's a shame, because I really liked Gareth Edwards' Godzilla. I really liked Kong, Skull Island, but King of the Monsters and this, no, I'm done. I'm absolutely done, and that's it. And that is that review. Godzilla vs. Kong, bringing out the very best of Angry Andy here, I think. And that's it. If you like this video, please do leave a like. Let me know what you think of this film. Am I completely off? You know, am I focusing too much on the human element? I don't think I am, but please do let me know. Let's have a discussion on this. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like more reviews like this. I do unboxings as well for Star Wars Black Series figures and lightsabers and the like, so please do subscribe to the channel for a varied bunch of content. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.